Hello, welcome to this update for Asia. Let's just see what's happening with these storms and everything. So we have, as usual, a lot of heavy rain over Southeast Asia, especially in India, spots of Myanmar, Bangladesh, and more areas further southeast. And we have some tropical systems in the Pacific to watch. So first, let's see here. We have Tropical Depression 4 in the middle of the Pacific, and this invest in the South China Sea near the northern Philippines. It's a medium chance of formation already there near the northern Philippines. So we'll keep watching these areas and potentially we'll have some more areas to watch as well. So here there's this map shows tropical depression 4. It's expected to reach tropical storm strength and go out north into the Pacific, possibly severe tropical storm by Saturday. So we'll keep watching this because it's somewhat close to Japan, but I don't think you'll hit Japan. You just go out to sea, but we'll keep watching. There's this area north of the Philippines that might form into something as well in the South China Sea. So let's see here. There's tropical depression 4. The official track takes it north, further out to sea, but some ensembles are slightly closer to Japan. This is the GFS, mainly goes north, but some members curve west, so we'll have to keep watching this, but you mainly go north. The thing is, there's this GFS ensemble that goes towards Japan, but it's just one, so we'll keep watching that. It's global plus hurricane models. I only see the GFS here. So there's the Canadian model as well. It shows it going out to sea, but there's those islands south of Russia near that peninsula that might be affected with some wind and rain after this turns like a post-tropical or something. So we'll keep watching that. And there's 98W, the invest near the Philippines. The GFS ensembles are absolutely crazy with this show, like category 4 or something, the middle of the Pacific, just south of Japan into China. But the GFS mainly goes north and tries to form this. Most ensembles that far northers have a typhoon. Just the ones further south are weaker, but the GFS is definitely showing something strong. The Canadian just goes throughout the Western Pacific and doesn't make landfall anywhere. It just dies in the middle. But some ensembles are going towards Eastern China. So better watch this if you are Southern Japan or Eastern China, because a few ensembles from the Canadian are trying to go towards Eastern China. So the immediate threat right now is heavy rain there in the Philippines, but later, so where is the Western Pacific, please? Here. So later we might need to keep watching this. So there is like tropical depression 4. The GFS strengthens this a lot there in the ocean. This goes out to sea. The GFS turns this invest gradually into a tropical storm and turns this into a violent typhoon south of Japan on July 9th. I doubt this will happen. Anything you see on the GFS won't happen, but you never know. So better keep watching. Later the GFS goes into China. So there's the European as well that I think is more realistic. So it shows this goes there, tropical depression 4 just dies out there in the ocean. And the European tries to form their 98W, but it goes back east again, and then it curves towards the southern lands of Japan by July 10th and up towards South Korea. So the Europeans doing a very interesting wobble there. And here, let's see. So there's the Canadian Model 2 shows like the invest near the Philippines there. This goes, it does turn that into a tropical storm just east of Taiwan. This goes, and the Canadian model keeps it very weak, but near eastern China potentially. So it just wobbles there, but nothing too crazy. The other tropical depression just goes out to sea, might affect southern Russia, some those islands there. So be aware. And there's the icon too The icon's not the best at tropical cyclones, but let's see if it has something interesting. So it shows the invest there. It tries to form just east of Taiwan and then tries to approach eastern China. So the icon wants a tropical storm towards eastern China. There's the NavGen, shows tropical depression 4 in the middle of the ocean. This goes there, but especially like where's the 00 and so it goes, it forms a tropical storm just east of Taiwan and then it goes there into eastern China. So the NavGen is quite radical today. I wouldn't trust that 100%, but we'll keep watching. So be aware those areas. There's the European ensembles here as well for like the Western Pacific. So shows like 240 hours out. Let's just go maximum here. So there's tropical depression 4 in the middle of the ocean there, and there's this invest. So it does curve kind of east near Taiwan. Most members of the European or die out in the ocean or curve towards China or South Korea. So it's not trending too much towards Japan. Most members are around China or into South Korea. So we need to watch this close, especially near like South Korea, China, but most members are clustered towards China. But the members of the European are like between tropical storm and low-end typhoon strength, unlike the GFS that was like category 5 or something. So this is more realistic. So be aware, those areas, especially near eastern China, the GFS is kind of further north towards north and eastern China, not so much south. But it does have some stuff near the southern islands of Japan to watch in those archipelagos. So be careful in those areas and stay safe. Just keep monitoring this. The rain and storms themselves show like Myanmar and India, some strong storms. Central China, some snow and some storms there near the mountains too. And then Friday through Saturday, some tremendous storms. Central India still, Myanmar, more flooding those areas possible. So like Monday, Tuesday, July 8th, still storms there in India. So stay safe in those areas, especially those torrential rains. So first for China here, does show next 5 days until July 7th. It shows this easter half of China kind of quiet, like Shanghai, very quiet. Shows around Beijing, shows more storms near Beijing, but shows Wuhan kind of quiet as well. But these areas further west to 194 millimeters. North Korea showing a lot, and Hong Kong and Hainan, slightly more storms further south as well. So stay safe on the northwestern Philippines, 157 millimeters, more around central northern Philippines. So please stay safe in those areas. Be careful. Just north of the Philippines, some very strong storms because of that low pressure right now. So there's this invest right now, some very strong downpours. So stay safe in those areas. Taiwan doesn't show too much on the Euro, but this might change depending if that tropical storm forms or not. But shows in Laos and Thailand some stronger storms, some 157 millimeters, not northern Cambodia into Thailand. So stay safe. Flooding in those storms, especially Myanmar to 300 millimeters. Myanmar and India are the most concerning areas, and Bangladesh as well. But the coast of Myanmar is like to 345 millimeters, up to 460 northernmost Myanmar. These values change all the time, but this is just like to get an idea. But please be careful in those areas. Be between Bangladesh and Bhutan, right through northeastern India, and more spots in Bhutan, some heavy rain. In Bangladesh, especially southern Bangladesh, more than 150 to 200 millimeters. So please be careful in those areas. In central India, oh my gosh, shows like close to 500 millimeters, like nearly 500 millimeters in a few areas. It even has some isolated spots of 510, some 300 to 400 along the west coast, more than 200 the monsoon, especially in Mumbai. So stay safe in those areas. Central to southern India, a few storms as well, especially central to eastern India. Please be careful. Might be some major flooding that happens, and more storms in western India, some very strong storms with flooding. Bangladesh, a few more storms as well. Not Bangladesh, Pakistan, some showers and storms near northern Pakistan, and sometimes southeastern Pakistan. So stay safe in those areas. Please be careful. The GFS is further east into eastern India, spots there to 200 meters, near Myanmar to 227, Bangladesh. So please be careful with flooding those areas, especially river flooding. Landslides are extremely dangerous, flash flooding, so please be aware and be smart, stay safe. Shows in the Philippines, the GFS is even to like 300 meters in the Philippines, so stay safe those areas. It might be slightly less than this, but this is a possibility too. So stay safe in those areas. And shows here like further north, the GFS trying to form this out in the ocean, but it does have some storms in Taiwan, a few spots in the Pacific as well, the Mariana Islands. So stay safe, and also China into North Korea, especially China, some heavy accumulation. The icon, a similar thing into North Korea, China, central India might get slammed with rainfall. So please, like 557 millimeters. Please be careful with flooding. Warn others there. Please stay safe. Warn others. And like shows there along the west coast, some more than 150 millimeters in those areas, some 200 millimeters in a few spots. So stay safe and check the description, because I put a summary of the forecast there, basically with the most important things that will happen. It's in English, but you can translate to your language, because I would translate, but there are like more than 1,000 languages in Southeast Asia, and it won't fit everything the description. So please go there and translate. I put the link to the translator too, because this is a serious event. If you don't understand me, you should really translate that, because the flooding that can happen here can be extremely dangerous. So please take a look at that if you don't understand me. So let's see here. There's in Thailand, and the icon shows some 146 meters as well. Myanmar, spots northern Myanmar to close to 300. Northeastern India, especially near the Himalayas, some dangerous landslides are possible. So be careful. Shows more central-ish China as those storms curve around this high pressure, and shows more near North Korea, those areas. So stay safe in those areas. And shows here in Taiwan, because the icon's trying to form this typhoon here, and it curves into China, but I don't really trust this. So we'll see what happens with that. It might not end up happening that way, but please be aware. We'll keep watching those areas. So be careful and stay safe. Please be careful. And shows in Russia some strong storm systems as well, like southeastern Russia, more than 200 meters, some isolated spots on the European model. Central Russia, those cold fronts. So be careful. Storms in Russia and some heavy rain that can be dangerous as well. So please be careful in those areas. And like Turkey and the Caucasus are still very rainy, and some spots snow in the mountains. So be careful those storms near the Caucasus as well. So here for snow does show spots of Turkey, northeastern Turkey into the Caucasus and Georgia. So be careful. In the Himalayas, the Tibetan Plateaus, like a lot of snow too, because there's so much moisture from the storms. So a lot of snow in the high elevations too. Be careful, especially China, with those big rivers, and like the Mekong, Southeast Asia. Be careful with river flooding, like with all those storms plus melting snow. So Mongolia shows a little bit of snow too in those other Tian Shan mountains, and more spots of southeastern Russia, some isolated spots maybe in some high elevations. So stay safe, spots of Russia in the Arctic, some snow. So be careful in those areas, especially this rainfall. Please stay safe. There's like here for like the, let's see if I find the Canadian model for precipitation. So in northern regions, like I don't think it has Asia here, but let's just try like precipitation 72 hours. So the Canadian Dust as well, central-ish India, those whites. White is like more than 200 meters. It shows tries to form the tropical storm there and has central China. If you can follow like my mouse here, shows through central China into northeastern China, North Korea, 100, 250 meters, even 200. Myanmar, like 300 spots of India. So please stay safe in those areas and other areas such as Papua New Guinea, spots in Indonesia, some heavier storms too. So stay safe because the European model does show a lot around the Solomon Islands into Papua New Guinea, Western Guinea, those regular tropical shower storms, Indonesia, nothing too crazy, but always be careful with lightning, some gusty winds, and like spots in the Bay of Bengal as well, and the Andaman Nicobar Islands. So stay safe, be careful. Shows this extreme heat still happening, so please be careful. This heat still to 46 degrees, spots in Oman to 46 and 50 degrees in Iran, 47, 48. So please stay safe. This is extreme, extremely hot. I hope there like no one in these valleys here because this is like 50 degrees. The heat indices might be like 55 plus. So please stay safe in those areas. Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates and Oman. And during the night, it does cool down some, but like stays at 30 degrees during the night. And like if it stays hot during the night, it can be even more dangerous for your health. So please stay safe in those areas and warn others. So let's see here. Shows colder in the high elevations, of course, in the Himalayas, spots of the Caucasus as well, and like this area, this low pressure in Russia, keeping things milder, and shows Thursday afternoon, July 3rd, doesn't show too extreme in Saudi Arabia, still to 45 degrees, 45 to 41. This is still very, very hot. So shows like some 49 in Iran, Afghanistan, 48 degrees. So please stay safe. And uh, for me, like even 33 degrees is already very hot. So imagine like how 48 would be. I know you're used to it in those areas, but please stay safe. And more spots in Syria and Iraq. So Thursday, Friday shows those valleys in Iran still to some 50 degrees possible, 51. Some spots in Turkmenistan to 48 degrees. Uzbekistan to southern Kazakhstan nearly 44 degrees. So prepare for this heat wave in Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and those areas. Please be careful in Afghanistan, central Pakistan, in Iran, and all those areas there. There's the icon too, shows there like some spots across Afghanistan, Iran, nearly 51 degrees on the icon as well. Turkmenistan, so please stay safe in those areas. Saudi Arabia, so Friday into Saturday, slightly less extreme in Saudi Arabia, but still very hot in Iraq, close to 40 still, but better than 50 there was a few weeks ago. 50 in some valleys in Iran, 46 parts of Iran, Afghanistan, so please stay safe and still around Uzbekistan. Turkmenistan, even southernmost Tajikistan outside the mountains. So please be careful in those areas. In eastern China, it's quite hot in a few spots as well. The European center is, so yeah, be aware there as well. And the rest far south is tropical, just a few spots hotter. So be careful. Northern Russia is kind of cold still, but just during the night. A few spots during the day are slightly milder, and central Russia is slightly milder, and a few spots, even southern Mongolia, slightly hotter in the Gobi Desert, and those areas in the low elevations, the basins in western China. So be careful. Spots in Kazakhstan, southwestern Russia. So yeah, just stay safe in that heat. Please be careful. Still some strong winds over like let's go back to July 2nd today in Somalia, the Arabian Sea, a few spots in the Middle East, Afghanistan. So be careful in those areas. That low pressure southwestern Russia that might affect the Middle East as well. Shows Mongolia, Afghanistan, slightly stronger gusts in a few spots. So Wednesday to Thursday continues the Arabian Sea, those monsoon winds. Shows spots in the Middle East and Afghanistan and Iran. Caspian Sea is slightly stronger sometimes. Saturday, the southern Indian Ocean is very gusty, especially like those extratropical cyclones near South Africa and Australia. So we'll make more videos for them soon, especially because this latest European one has some big winds in Australia. So we'll keep watching. But there's like a few spots in northern China to Mongolia, Afghanistan to Iran. Be aware those areas of some gusty winds. And occasionally in another spot of China, Western China, those areas, the Middle East, and into India. So does show sometimes stronger gusts in India. Of course, there'll be the storms from the monsoon with very high winds, but despite of the storms, shows more some strong winds. Just wind itself a few days, like July 7th. So be aware, a few spots in China. So be careful in those areas and stay safe, especially those fronts in Russia, northern Kazakhstan, Mongolia, a few storms there as well. So be careful in those areas and please stay safe. Be careful of the wildfires in some dry areas, especially like Turkey. There are many fires now. And you can check some weather warnings, windy here as well on weather warnings. So be careful in those areas and stay safe. And today, not today, this far out in the future, but that shows some of those fronts in Russia, more Cape as well. This is the convective available potential energy. So if storms pass over that, there might be threat for a severe storm or two there in Russia. So be careful. It's even higher there in the tropics further south, but those storms are there's too much rain, then they don't tend to be that severe. But further north, because the wind shear, yes. So be careful in those areas. Stay safe. The image of today is this big cumulonimbus cloud from a storm yesterday. So yeah, stay safe.